Evasion of law is an act that aims to avoid the application of national law so that the person concerned obtain certain benefit according his wishes by applying foreign law. In this case, a party has carried unjustifiable method with the aim of avoiding the use of national law, with the aims of to avoid a condition or a certain undesirable legal consequence, or to realize or create a desired legal consequence. So, there are several terms in different countries. In the Dutch, with son doing king, in French fraude a la loi, in Latin fraude legis, in Indonesia penyeludupan hukum, and in English evasion of law. Nature and purpose. So the first one is evasion of law, usually committed only in order to fulfill a specific purpose, so that certain non-legal relationship apply law other than those that should be used. The second one is the goal is to avoid certain consequence, or it could also be used to achieve a desired result. So the usage of the original law are avoided, and the usage of the foreign law is upheld.
Differences between public order and evasion of law. So the first one is public order. National law are still applicable when it can be avoided for the sake of the judge's interest in ensuring the enforcement of public order. For example, in making certain priorities. Nah, jadi ketertiban hukum di sini maksudnya itu ketika sesuatu negara dalam menyelesaikan suatu kasus, tapi aturan yang ada dalam negara tersebut itu tidak menciptakan ketertiban, sehingga hakim dalam memutuskan suatu perkara itu menyampingkan hukum nasional itu sendiri. Dan ini juga sama seperti evasion of law atau kedudukan hukum dari itu, dan dimana dia itu juga menyampingkan hukum nasional itu sendiri. Tapi yang berbeda dari si A dan kedua ini itu terdapat pada alasannya. Yang sebelumnya itu kalau dia itu menyampingkan hukum nasional itu karena alasan tidak
One eternity later.
yang pertama tadi itu karena alasan tidak menciptakan ketertiban, dan di mana gara-gara tidak menciptakan ketertiban dan itu menyampingkan dari hukum yang ada di nasional itu sendiri. Sedangkan yang evasion of law ini dilakukan karena seseorang itu ingin punya keinginan untuk melakukan suatu hal yang memang dilarang dalam nasional negara sendiri. Tadi itu dalam suatu negara itu diakui apa yang dilakukannya itu, namun hak-haknya itu tidak didapatkan dalam suatu negara tersebut. Jadi cuma sebatas diakui saja dalam negara tersebut.
The first example is the first evasion marriage. A woman, the doctor of our dimension, like this, imagine friends, if there is the girls who want marriage with her boyfriend. So her dad don't allow the marriage because maybe the differences about religion. So the guy don't give up and they go run away to another country and then do the marriage to their country, and setelah itu mungkin orang tua tidak bisa berkata apa-apa karena pernikahan telah dilakukan di sana. Jadi ketika kembali lagi ke Indonesia, mungkin pernikahannya dianggap sah dan orang tua bisa berbuat apa karena pernikahan telah dilakukan. Karena nggak boleh menikah di Indonesia, terjadinya perbedaan agama, maka mereka berdua pergi ke negara lain untuk melakukan pernikahan tersebut. Ketika kembali lagi, orang tuanya bisa apa? Karena pernikahan telah sah. Dan di Indonesia, di negara lain tersebut dibolehkan untuk pernikahan beda agama. Jadi ketika kembali ke Indonesia, pengadilan di Indonesia tidak akan melakukan apapun.
Now we will move to what's wrong with the evasion of the law. So firstly, it needs to be understood that although evasion of the law is not completely false or completely wrong, it is still actually bring a lot of harm to our society. Why? Firstly, when we choose to evade, or people who choose to do evasion of law called evader. So they are people who evade the law. So when you choose to do evasion of the law, you will have some kind of like moral guilty. Because the word evasion itself means something rebellious, it means something evil, it means something bad, that it's make you feel like immoral in the very first place. Because namanya juga penyelundupan, penyelundupan narkoba, penyelundupan anak, it's not a good thing, right? So when you use the term evasion of the law, it will actually make people think that this is actually a bad thing. But in fact, evasion of law are also kind of like not sure whether it's bad or not. So you will have firstly moral guilty. The second one on why the evasion of law is actually bad, because it's unfair. Let's take a look at example why it is unfair. For example, Dira has told you about the divorce cases when a husband wants to get married with a wife and the national court doesn't provide that. There are many cases and samples when the husband chooses to quit the way of divorce. So he goes abroad, he evades the law, and he follows this short procedure in another law. This leaves the husband, the wife, in the national law to have to suffer from the wrong procedural of national procedure, for example. So he already got it quick. People already assume that he is divorced, while the wife has to go through several procedures to clarify what her husband did. And then the third one is the national interest. It is also objectionable in cases where it operates in the national interest. Again, when we see the first one, in the first consequences, it does not violate the national law. On the third one, it violates the national law. Why? Because the national interest itself is also at risk when we evade the law. For example, when a lot of people choose to evade, they want to neglect their national law, it makes the national law become non-concrete. It makes the national law become no longer as prestigious as it is. So people try to think as national law as something that, well, we don't have to follow, we just have to follow foreign law. Then at the end of the day, the national law itself is not treated as something that should, as how the way it should be. It's not treated as a law, it's not treated as a constitution. It's just a simple norm that if you don't want to follow, you don't have to follow. So this is actually make the society become in a place where the national interest is actually broken down. Also, when the people start to become addicted to use foreign law, and then the national court will be neglected. That at the end of the day, people no longer dependent on the national court, and it will actually impact the economy, for example, because we know when we go to court, we have to pay a certain amount of money, and people will circle that money to another court, for example, foreign. And then the fourth, on what's wrong with the evasion of the law is the neglection to the national law mentioned to you before. So like we know that national law is actually it's the base of the country, right? It's the constitution. It's the one that we should refer to. So when these kind of national law being taken non-seriously and people can easily evade, it makes the society to think that this is not actually as prestigious, and if you don't want to follow it, you don't have to follow it. You can just use foreign law. And this is actually meant for the public order. That at the end of the day, this kind of evasion is actually an act that are go against the public order. So how to stop this is the first one is we need to identify the problems. Exactly when we see the problem on cases of child abduction, for example, in cases of evasive marriage or evasive divorce, we should identify what is the cause. Why do they want to evade in the very first place? For example, when they want to do child abduction, evasive child abduction in custody, it's probably because the husband is abusive. The wife doesn't want her husband to get custody. And that's why the wife goes to national court, but the husband, however, wants the child to be his, so he goes evade to get the child custody. This should be identified in the very first place to be able to generalize and mechanize the whole thing throughout it. And the second one is mandatory rules. This one is actually the extension of after you identify the problem, you make the mandatory rules. So the constitution institution, for example, legislative institution, they have to make sure that the establishment of the constitution or law is actually very prestigious. It's non-changeable, it's non-negotiable, so that this law itself will be prestigious and people don't have the dare or the audacity to go against it in the very first place. And how do we make it mandatory? For example, speaking in such like socialization or at the end of the day, just establish it and make sure that people know that it's there in the very first place. And the third one is implementation of the mandate. So after you make, after the legislative institution, for example, you make a certain socio-economic interests that are not non-negotiable. At the end of the day, it should be implemented. For example, probably after going through some kind of trials and error, it could be implemented. That at the end of the day, these kind of mandatory rules needs to provide socio-economic value. So like it should be rather elaborate. Why is the husband should not be given custody? Why is the wife should be given custody? In international law, it should be put so that in the very first place they won't have the need to pay. So because it's already being under the hands of Constitution National. So the last point is forum. What I mean by forum is that actually when this kind of mandatory constitution already made, so it is already being implemented, then the government should actually open a forum for discussions. We see that in our current society it's already there, where probably one of our friends or we also already goes to public hearing of forum. This is one of the examples that the forum itself is actually being used at its finest, at its maximized. That at the end of the day, people from any kind of different ages, teenagers and adults, are able to hear what are inside the constitution, and they manage to give suggestions, criticism. That at the end of the day, people do not feel like there's a need to